we're going to perform a kin stretch sequence for shoulder internal rotation. For this sequence, you're going to need 2 light dumbbells. That's kind of optional. You don't have to have 2 light dumbbells. You can use water bottles if you want, or you can just use body weight. You're also going to need 2 yoga blocks. These are non-negotiables. You will need these yoga blocks to support your elbows from a prone position. So I'm going to have you lay on your stomach with your yoga blocks underneath your elbows when your hands are in this position. So my hands are palm up on the small of my back. My elbows are going to be supported by the yoga blocks. This is our stretch position and the position from which we're going to perform our pails and rails. So we're going to do 1 60-second stretch followed by 2 sets of pails and rails, 30 seconds apiece. And then we're going to perform axial rotations using the dumbbells or just body weight if you want to. So have the dumbbells, if you're using dumbbells, have them handy out to either side where you can grab them pretty easily. Go ahead and lay flat on your stomach and let's get into your stretch. So I'm going to tuck my yoga blocks into the sides of my hips and my abdomen, placing my hands on the small of my back. I want to find where my elbows are going to meet my yoga blocks without too much reaching. So a position that I feel a little stretch, but is still fairly comfortable. So from this position, I'm going to stretch for a minute. Go ahead and get into your position. I'll give you about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and start your stretch. So we have a minute stretch here. Our 2 rounds of pails and rails are going to be pressing our hands down into the small of our back, or attempting to lift your hands and wrists up off of the small of your back. They should not move. If they do, it means you need to deepen the stretch, which I'll explain later. But for now, we're just stretching for 1 minute. Just take deep breaths and relax. Got about 15 seconds left. Our first pails contraction is going to be to make fists and drive your fists and wrists down into the small of your back. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drive down. Like you're trying to push through the small of your back and meet the ground. Your elbows should still be firmly flush up against the yoga blocks. You don't want your shoulders to move or your elbows to move at all. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. 15 seconds left. Drive, 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 drive. Get ready to try and lift. So you're still making fists, but you're lifting your fists and your wrists away from the small of your back. 3, 2, 1. Attempt to lift. You should not be able to lift from this position, but if you are, just keep lifting the best you can. Keep lifting, keep lifting. 12 seconds. Get ready to press again. 3, 2, 1. Push those fists and wrists back down into the small of your back again. This is our second set and our last set. Push, 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 push. You're trying to punch through the small of your back into the floor. There's a lot of shoulder stuff, chest stuff working here. Push, push, push. Get ready to lift and lift. Last round. Really, really try to pull those wrists up off the small of your back. Make sure your elbows are staying flush against the yoga blocks. Lift, lift, lift. I feel my right wrist trying to work really hard to compensate. Lift, lift. Almost there. And rest. Take a deep breath in this position. Let yourself relax for a second. Let your shoulders just woosah in this position for a minute. So then we're going to do 10 axial rotations. I want you to just take your arms out to the sides, grab your light dumbbells. These shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 pounds probably. If they are heavier than that, you may want to grab just a couple of water bottles or just use tennis balls or the weight of your hands. I'm going to have you hold your arms out to the sides, lift your hands up off the ground, and internally rotate, rotating those palms up as hard as you can. Find your end range, fight for more. And then I'm going to have you externally rotate. So you're trying to tip palms up the other way. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go through 10 of these. Rotate in, rotate out. Hold those arms up. Make sure they're not touching the floor. Here's 3. And make sure the movement is coming from your shoulders and not just your wrists and palms. Here's 5. Six. There's 7. I'm taking a little break. I got 3 to go. Internally rotate the best you can. Remember, from the shoulder. There's 8. 9. Woohoo! One more, guys. Come on. If you need to drop the weights, you can. Feel free. I'm not gonna. I'm too stubborn. And internally rotate. This is our last one. Externally rotate. There's 10. 10 was ambitious. If you have a hard time reaching 10, that is okay. Do what you can do. I'm sweating. I'm sweating from that. That was our kin stretch sequence for shoulder internal rotation with an axial rotation finisher.